very good afternoon. Today we are going to discuss about AWS IoT Core, and this topic is very important. We are going to have hands-on on AWS IoT Core using MQTT protocol. So as we are talking about, from the last 2 days we are working on Amazon Web Services, right? So as we are talking about, data collection using MQTT protocol, and we have stored data storage using different clouds, right? We have used ThingSpeak for storing data. We have used AWS MongoDB for storing data, and data visualization on ThingSpeak. The data can be visualized very easily. And AWS MongoDB using MongoDB Compass. We have listed our data. And for data analysis. So data analysis, we are going to analyze the data using AWS IoT Core. So today we need to do analysis, and also we need to collect data using MQTT protocol. And what we have to do is we are having an edge device. So this edge device can be a physical device, or can be a simple program, a simple virtual machine, or you can say that is nothing but the Python script. Okay, say edge device can be a Raspberry Pi or something like Google Colab. So when you look at Raspberry Pi is a physical device and Google Colab is a virtual device. Okay. So anyways, Raspberry Pi, Google Colab, we will be using Python. Python is portable, right? The program which is running on Raspberry Pi can be executed on Google Colab. Okay. So by using Python program, what we have to do is we have to upload data. We have to upload data to AWS IoT Core, not to MongoDB. Okay. This time we need to say upload data to AWS IoT Core for data processing. Okay, and we will be creating some rules. We'll be creating some rules on the AWS IoT Core. If the rule is met, then we have to notify, say the user, saying that the condition is met. Okay, so here let us have humidity and temperature value. Okay, because we are having humidity and temperature sensor, which has humidity, which it will give you humidity value and also temperature value, right? So let us upload this data. So let us upload this data to AWS IoT Core, and let's create a rule where the temperature or humidity, whatever, where the temperature crosses a certain threshold value. Okay, crosses a certain threshold value. Then we need to send SMS notification to the user. So this is a rule wherein when a temperature crosses a certain threshold value, then we need to send a SMS notification to the user. So let's do this. This will take 2.5 hours, okay, for creating the entire task. Because the tutorials on AWS IoT Core in YouTube or in Google will be very less, because this was a newly introduced platform on AWS for processing IoT applications. The resources for AWS IoT Core is very limited. I'll go very slow. You can understand and you can do with me. Okay. So let us create, or let us subscribe, or we can say. So let us do in steps. Okay. Let us subscribe for a service for AWS IoT Core on AWS Management Console. Okay. So let's do this. Let's jump into AWS Management Console and hope my console is logged in. Okay. Please log into aws.amazon.com. You'll get the AWS Management Console and acknowledge me if the console is open at your end. Okay. This process is very complicated. Okay. Please follow every step here. So you need to open aws.amazon.com. You need to log in with your credentials. Then you can able to see AWS Management Console. So you can click on services here. You can click on services. You can type for AWS IoT Core. Okay, AWS IoT Core. Okay, IoT Core. Search for a service called IoT Core on AWS. You can click on services. Okay, if you log in, you can able to see AWS Management Console, and you can click on services. So when you click on services, you'll get a search bar to search for a service, and you can search for a service called IoT Core. Okay. So I'm just clicking on IoT Core. Then IoT Core console will open. So the IoT Core console will open. This is AWS IoT dashboard wherein you can able to access all the devices which are connected to AWS from the dashboard. So where you can able to see all the statistics, okay, which are related to your AWS IoT dashboard. For you, it will be empty by default, but as I'm working from last 3-4 days to demonstrate some applications on AWS IoT, so you can able to see the messages, which are getting updated. You can able to see the metrics here. So if you are in this page, it means that you have subscribed for a service called AWS IoT. So here, what we have to do is, on the left side, you'll have a dashboard menu bar, something like monitor, onboard, manage, green grass, secure, defend, act, test, and all. You'll have some options on the left side of AWS IoT dashboard, and there is an option called secure. There is an option called secure. Please click on secure. Please click on secure. And we have logged in into aws.amazon.com, and then we have searched for AWS IoT Core, simple IoT Core, and then it will redirect to AWS IoT dashboard. So in the AWS IoT dashboard, on the left side, you'll have a dashboard menu bar. In the dashboard menu bar, there is an option called secure, and you need to click on secure. When you click on secure, you'll get sub options like certificates, policies, CAs, role aliases, authorizers, and all. Out of which policy is very important for us. What kind of permission is to be given for a device? Okay, that's what policy is all about. So let's click on policies. Okay, let's click on policy. We need to create a policy for a device. Okay, we need to create a policy for a device. So that policy is nothing but what kind of permissions that you want to create for a device. Okay, that's what policy is all about. You need to create a policy here. You need to click on secure, and then you need to click on policies. Then you can able to get a screen something like this. So here already there are 2 policies which have been created, but let us create a new policy. For you it will be empty, right? So let us create a policy. Let us create a policy by clicking on the create button. So on the right top side you are having create button. I'm just clicking on create button. So when you click on create button, it is showing to it is showing us to create a policy for the IoT devices which are connected. So let us name the policy. I will name the policy as Python policy. Okay, you can name anything here. Okay, and the name which I have given here is Python policy. You need to give a name for your policy. You can write anything here. You can write your name. Okay, it's just a name of the policy for us to understand. Python policy. I wrote Python policy because I wanted to access AWS IoT Core options using Python program. So that is why for me to understand, I wrote Python policy here. In actions, you need to type IoT colon. So these are the different options. Okay, there are the different actions or different permissions that you want to take. So IoT colon, in action you should type IoT colon star. You need to select star. When you select star, it means that every request is possible with Python. Okay, we need all this: publish, subscribe, connect, receive, update thing shadow, get thing shadow, delete thing shadow. But when you select IoT/star, you'll get all. Okay, it means that in the place of star, you can access any kind of service that is available here. Okay, IoT colon star is nothing but accessing any kind of service which is available in IoT core. IoT colon star. And resource ARN, a resource ARN can be anything. Okay, let's put star. IoT colon star at action. A resource ARN is a simple star. So when you put star, you can take in MQTT protocol, and you're aware of topic name, right? Topic name can be anything. It need not to be constant, right? So when you put star at resource ARN, which means that the topic name can be anything, which is not confined. So you can put star. And effect, you need to click on allow. Okay, you need to click on allow. So three things you have to do here. At action, you need to select IoT colon star. At resource ARN, you have to put star, because as a topic name is not confined, you can put star here. And you need to click on allow for this policy, which means that we are giving permission for IoT colon star, and also for resource we are asking the user can have any kind of topic. And also we are giving a chance to the programmer to access any kind of action that is available here in AWS IoT Core by putting IoT colon star. You need to click on allow. After clicking on allow, you need to scroll down and you need to click on create. So when you click on create, a policy with name Python policy will be created. Let us click on create. Have you entered all this? You need to click on create. You need to click on create. When you click on create, a policy is created. So a policy is created. By using this policy, we can access any kind of any kind of routine that is available here in AWS IoT Core, and the topic name can be anything. So this is what we defined in the policy. Okay, you have to create a policy. Okay, you have to create a policy so that all the devices will be following this policy. Okay, and all the programmers who write program to access the device through AWS IoT Core can able to follow this policy. So what is this policy? Any topic name is not confined in this policy, and any kind of routine IoT colon, as we have selected IoT colon star, any kind of routine can be selected there. You can publish data, you can subscribe data. Okay, you can detach, you can do any kind of action which is available here. We have to create a policy. So that is a step 2. Okay, step 1 is selecting AWS IoT Core on AWS Management Console, and step 2 is that we have to create a policy, and that is what we did, right? We have created a policy called Python policy. And step 3, after creating a policy, we need to add the device. We need to onboard our device. Okay, so let's click on manage. Let's click on manage. Let's click on manage. Are you following me? So have you all created policy, Python policy? And then after creating a policy, right? After creating a policy, we need to create a thing. Thing is nothing but a device. Okay, thing is nothing but an object that you want to access using AWS IoT Core. So let us create a thing. So as of now, you can able to see there are 2 things here. One is Matt, second one is Surya. So for you, it will be empty. Let us create a thing. Let us click on create button on the right top side. So in the manage, okay, you need to click on manage. Then when you click on manage, things will be selected. So you need to click on create button here. You need to create a thing. I'm just clicking on create button. So when you click on create button, you can able to see this page. An IoT thing is a representation and record of your physical device in the cloud. So that's what I'm talking about. We need to register a thing. Okay, there is single registration and there is bulk registration. So let us click on create a single thing. Okay, so as of now, so let us click on create a single thing. So when you click on create a single thing, it is asking us to enter a name. So let us enter a name as Python. You can enter anything here. Okay, say Python, say Python FTP. You can give any name. You can give your name to. Okay, so the name itself is to identify the thing here. It can be any name. But in the real time scenario, if it is Raspberry Pi, we used to write Raspberry Pi. Okay, so here as of now, it is a virtual object. You can write anything here. I wrote Python FTP. After entering the name of the thing, okay, you need to scroll down. You need to click on next. So the next step is very important here. You need to give a name. Okay, as a group is not created, you don't have any group to select here. You can click on next. Group has to be created when you have bulk number of objects. Okay, bulk number of things. But here there is no bulk number of things here, as we have clicked on single object creation, right? So Python FTP is the name, and let's click on next. So here this is very important, because AWS IoT core is very secured. Okay, if you want to access AWS IoT core, a certificate has to be needed. It needs a certificate. It needs a public key. It needs a private key in order to access the device, in order to access the cloud of AWS IoT. Okay, so you need to click on create a certificate. Okay, you need to click on create a certificate. So let's click on create a certificate. A certificate has to be created for every thing, okay, which you create on AWS IoT core. You need to click on create a certificate. So when you click on create a certificate, then it will be able to see, it will able to generate some certificate files. Okay, so you need to download all these files. You need to download all these files. So let's download these files. Okay, let's click on download. You need to download. Okay, let's click on keep. Okay, so please download all these certificates. Okay, public key has to be downloaded, private key has to be downloaded. Okay, so one certificate, public key, private key, and also they are showing that there is a one more certificate has to be downloaded, that is root CA. Root CA certificate has to be downloaded for AWS IoT. So there is an option to download this root CA. Okay, so let's click on this download. Let's click on this download. So when you click on download, one more page will open. Okay, so let's activate this certificate. You need to click on activate. You need to click on activate. When you click on activate, the certificate which is generated here will be activated for your thing. Okay, you need to click on activate. When you click on activate, so it means that you can able to access this thing with the certificate. Okay, for secure connection, they are issuing a certificate for every object. A unique certificate will be created for everything that is added in AWS IoT core, along with public key and private key. Okay, here we need to download a root CA also, right? Root CA is common for everyone. Okay, root CA for AWS IoT is common for everyone, but the unique the difference was like, the certificate for this thing is unique, the public key is unique, the private key is unique, but root CA certificate is common for everything, for every user. Okay, you can download the certificate from here, Amazon root CA1. Okay, you can click on this Amazon root CA1. So this is a certificate. Just copy this and store it in a notepad file. Okay. And name it as root CA. Dot set. Name it as root-ca dot cert set. You need to click on save. Okay, so this root certificate is common for everyone. Okay, I will send in the WhatsApp group also. Now what we have to do is we have to put all the certificates into one folder. Okay, so let us create a folder on the desktop. Okay, let us create a folder on your desktop. Okay, let's say IoT, FTP, AWS, and please put all the certificates. Okay, and the one certificate which I've sent you is root-ca, right? It is there in my laptop and AWS IoT. Okay, and you download from the WhatsApp group. Okay, so let's put in, what is this? Yeah, let's put it here. And we have downloaded certain files, right? So we have downloaded certain files where, yeah, we have downloaded certain files where there are the certificates. You know, we have downloaded a private key, public key, and also certificate file. So let's put everything in one folder. Okay, so that we can able to access them very easily. Okay, we need these 4 files. One is root certificate of Amazon, and remaining 3, you know, will be unique from user to user, unique from object to object, unique from thing to thing. But root-ca is common for everyone. This is a certificate issued for Amazon website. And the remaining 3 are the, you know, unique files which will be generated when you create a thing on AWS IoT Core. Okay, let me check whether thing is created. FD0212. That is what, right? Yes. So a device is, a thing is added, right? You can click on create. A thing is added. You can able to see thing in and things in manage option in things. You can able to see Python FTP, which means a thing is created. A thing is created. And for this, you can click on security. When you click on security, you can able to see the certificate which is activated. Okay, and the certificate is activated. Policy, we need to attach a policy for the certificate. Okay, so let us attach a policy as well. Attach policy. So you need to attach a policy called Python policy. Okay, which is created now. So let us attach a policy for the certificate. Okay, thing is Python FTP, policy is Python policy. Okay, we need to attach a policy for the certificate as well. Okay, certificate should have a policy. Okay, should have a policy which is created earlier. The name of the policy is Python policy. So make sure that the policy is Python policy, thing is Python FTP in the certificate. Okay, so this certificate is active and it is connected with a thing called Python FTP and having a policy called Python policy. Okay, so this is how it is connected. Every certificate should be active. Every certificate which you create should be active and should have a policy called Python policy. If you're unable to see this policy, you can click on actions here. You can click on actions. You can attach policy. Okay, you can attach policy. Okay, in things you should be able to see Python FTP. This is done. So step 3 is we have to create a thing and its certificate, and we have to add policy to it. And step 4 is like we have to put all the files, all the certificates, keys into one folder. What kind of certificate? Root certificate, thing certificate, and private key and public key. All these four things, all these four files should be in one folder. Okay, root certificate, which is common for everything because it is Amazon certificate, and you will be having a thing certificate which is generated by AWS IoT Core while creating a thing, and private key and public key are also will be generated when you are creating a thing in AWS IoT Core. Have you done up to this? If you miss any step, you cannot able to access AWS IoT Core. Okay, this is something like a bit complicated while for configuration for the first time. Okay, step 5, we have to identify what is the broker of your AWS IoT Core. Okay, what this broker will be unique from user to user. Okay, this broker will be unique from user to user. That is why I wrote your AWS IoT Core. Okay, this will be unique from user to user. So let us identify what is the broker alias server of your AWS IoT Core. So that is nothing but, sometimes people call it as endpoint. Endpoint is nothing but a broker entity, or you can call it as server also. Okay, what is the broker of your AWS IoT Core? So that is what you have to identify. So that if you want to identify your broker, you need to click on manage. You need to click on manage. You need to click on manage, and thereby things will be selected. You need to select your thing. You need to select your thing, which is Python FTP. And here you will have an option called interact. You will have an option called interact. You need to click on interact. You need to click on interact. So when you click on interact, you can able to see the endpoint, which is nothing but the MQTT broker. So please copy this MQTT broker into a notepad file. Okay, because in the program we have to copy paste this data. So this is nothing but my broker, which is connected on my AWS IoT Core. Okay, so this thing you will have in interact. Okay, in interact you can able to see, in interact you can able to see your endpoint, which is nothing but broker of your AWS IoT Core. So this will be unique from user to user. Okay, so that is the step number 5. So this is my endpoint. Okay, this is my endpoint. Now the next step. So now the next step is like, you should understand what is the operating system. Okay, that you are running on your laptop. If it is Windows, you will have a Windows PowerShell. We need Windows PowerShell. Okay, you need to click on Windows button. You need to click on Windows button. Please search for PowerShell. PowerShell. You can able to see my PowerShell app, which is there. Windows PowerShell. Okay, you need to search for Windows PowerShell. You need to search for Windows PowerShell. Please open Windows PowerShell. You can click on Windows button. You can search for PowerShell. Okay, you can search for PowerShell. You can able to open this, right? Okay, this is a supershell available on your Windows operating system. So that is the step here. So 6th step is you need to open your Windows PowerShell. Okay, Windows PowerShell. You can simply open that by clicking on Windows button. By clicking on Windows button, you can easily open this Windows PowerShell. Okay, seventh step is you need to install a Python package. You need to install a Python package here. And you know how to install a Python package, right? Say by using pip, right? Pip space install space, pip space install space. Let me check the command. Pip space install space AWS. So let us install the package. Pip install AWS IoT Python SDK. Okay, I'll send in chat. Okay, pip install AWS IoT Python SDK. So this is the command which you need to install. Okay, I have installed earlier. So you have to install this package. So for me, it is already there in my Python. So for you, the Python package of AWS IoT will be installed on your desktop. For me, it is already there. Pip install AWS IoT Python SDK. So this package has to be installed. Okay. Seventh, you need to install Python SDK for AWS IoT by running the following command. Okay, which is pip install AWS IoT Python SDK. So when you run this command, Python SDK of AWS IoT will be installed into your desktop PC along with Python. Okay. Okay. So after installing Python SDK, we need to write a program. Okay. So let's jump into the folder which is created on the desktop, which is cd space desktop, cd space desktop on PowerShell, cd space desktop. Okay. So you need to browse to the folder which is created on the desktop, which is cd space desktop and cd space IoT FDP AWS, cd space IoT FDP AWS. So okay, cd space IoT FDP AWS. Okay. So which is nothing but you need to access the folder which is created on the desktop. cd space desktop, cd space. I have created a folder called IoT FDP AWS. So you need to enter the commands like cd space desktop and cd space IoT FDP AWS. So here, when you type dir enter, you can able to see the certificates which we have stored, right? One is root certificate, one is a certificate of the thing, and one is private key, one is public key. You can able to see the set of files which have been stored in that folder to access our AWS IoT core. So here let us write a program. You know how to create a program, right? Notepad space demo.py. Say notepad space demo.py. So the name of the file is demo. Notepad, right? Notepad is nothing but text editor. Notepad space demo.py. So when you hit enter, a notepad file will open. You need to click on yes. When you click on yes, you can able to see demo here on the top of the notepad. Okay, the command is notepad space demo.py. Okay, notepad space demo.py. So that is a step here. So it's after installing Python SDK, you need to browse to the folder where certificates are stored, and there you have to create a Python script for connecting with AWS IoT core. Okay, this is what we did, right? By entering a command called notepad space, notepad space demo.py. Then you can able to see a notepad file opened with demo.py. So let us write a program. So here we need to write a Python script to get connected with AWS IoT core using MQTT protocol. And from first day onwards we are talking about MQTT when we start talking about IoT, right? So let us write a program here on Notepad. Have you all created? Can we start programming? So this program will be of 20-25 lines. Okay. So I'm starting the program from space the module which is installed AWS IoT Python SDK dot from this module dot MQTT lib space import. So from AWS Python SDK MQTT library import AWS IoT MQTT client. Okay, this is a package name which we have to do import here, which is like from AWS IoT Python SDK. Ensure that capital letters. Okay, ensure if I write capital it is capital, if I write small it is small. Okay, AWS IoT Python SDK dot MQTT library. From this library we need to import AWS IoT MQTT client. The name says that what we're doing there. So from this SDK we are using MQTT library, and from that MQTT library we are importing only one client object, which is nothing but AWS IoT MQTT client. Okay, so after this we are importing time. Okay, we are importing time. So ensure if I write capital it is capital, if I write small it is small. Import space time. Now we have to create a client object. Client equal to AWS IoT MQTT client of say new client. We have to provide an ID as an argument. So here new client is nothing but an ID, client ID assigned to this client object. Client. Okay. Now a client object is created. Client equal to AWS IoT MQTT client of client ID. Client ID is nothing but new underscore client. So now a client ID is assigned, and we need to configure this client ID. We need to configure this client. So let's client dot configure endpoint. So we need to configure the endpoint, which is nothing but we need to provide what is the endpoint associated with every user and what is the port number there. So here in the program, let us write what is the endpoint comma port number. Port number is always fixed, which is 8883. So 1883 is a default MQTT broker, right? So for AWS MQTT, they are using a port number called 8883. Okay, instead of 1883, they're using 8883. Okay, they're using 8 instead of 1. And here you have to paste your MQTT broker. So I copied in this notepad what is my MQTT broker. So you also should copy the endpoint into the first argument. So in the first argument, I have passed my MQTT endpoint, which is nothing but broker. So thereby the client endpoint is configured. So after configuring endpoint, we need to configure the certificates. Okay, and the syntax is client dot configure credentials. So second C is capital. Okay, credentials. Spelling is correct. Credentials. Okay. Of name of the certificate. Okay, what is the root CA certificate name? Okay, what we have saved, we need to check root hyphen CA. Okay, so this is the name root hyphen CA dot CRT, isn't it? That is the extension there. Let's check root hyphen CA. What is extension there? .crt. .crt is the extension. So you need to pass root-ca dot crt. So that is a root CA certificate of Amazon, which is common for everyone, comma. You need to pass primary key, private primary key. Okay, you need to write what is your private primary key name. Okay, so let us check what is the private primary key name. So private key is this. So let's copy the name of the file, which is private key file name. Okay, I'm just copying the private key file name. Okay, so which is this private key file name, and then I'm storing it in between double quotation. I'll paste here in double quotation. So the second argument should be like what is the private key. Okay, and then what is the thing certificate. Okay, so the next one is thing certificate. So you need to pass thing certificate as an argument next to private key. Okay, so thing certificate is here. This one is the certificate of thing. Okay, so let us write the thing certificate in between double quotation, but this is, as this is a certificate, we'll have .crt at last. Okay, because .crt is nothing but certificate. So we need to pass three arguments here to credentials function. One is root CA certificate, which is there in the folder, and second one, what is a private key, so that is also there in the folder, and thing certificate, that is also there in the folder. So you need to verify it. Okay, because you know sometimes people do spelling mistakes and all, so you should understand that the first argument should have .crt at last. Okay, the second argument should have .key at last because this is a private key, and third argument is certificate of a thing, so it should have .crt. Okay, it means the two certificates, one is Amazon certificate, and the last one, the third argument should be a thing certificate here. So in between two certificates, one private key should be passed. So there is no usage of public key as of now. Okay, we are not using public key here, we are using private key. Okay, so what we did here, we have imported AWS MQTT, AWS MQTT client, AWS IoT MQTT client from a library called AWS IoT Python SDK of MQTT library, and then we have imported time library also, and then we have created a client object with client ID new underscore client. Okay, and then we need to configure, we need to pass the endpoint, and by using configure endpoint function, we are just passing what is our broker and what is a port number. So port number 883 is constant for everyone. Okay, but this URL which is passed in the first argument for configure endpoint will be varied from user to user. And then we have passed our certificates which is created by using configure credentials function. In the configure credentials function, you need to pass root certificate and also private key of your thing, and the last one is the certificate of a thing which is created. Okay, while adding a thing to your AWS IoT core. Next you need to configure your MQTT in such a way that what should be the connect time, what should be the operation time, what should be the disconnect time and all. So let's start configuring those things. So client dot configure offline publish queuing, okay, 2 minus 1. So which means that you know infinite offline publish queuing. Okay, infinite times we are publishing the thing. Okay, we are publishing the data. Okay, so client.configure offline, configure C should be small, offline O should be capital, publish P should be capital, queuing Q should be capital. You need to pass -1 as an argument. So when you pass -1 as an argument, it is infinite. When you pass 0, it is finite. So here we have to pass -1 for infinite offline publishing. And then you should talk about what should be the frequency. data transfer between device and AWS IoT core in the next line. So client dot configure draining frequency, that is called draining frequency. So you need to pass the frequency, say a frequency of 2 hertz. You can convert into a time period here. If frequency is determined, then you can easily identify time, right? So what should be the frequency of sending data from device to cloud? Okay, so the frequency of data transfer. Next, client dot connect, sorry, client dot configure connect disconnect time out. Okay, what should be the connect timeout? What should be the disconnect timeout? Say if an AWS IoT server is not responding for 2 seconds, so we have to wait until it is connected, right? So that is called connect and disconnect timeout. Say we can have any seconds of time here. Okay, so for example, I'm writing 10 seconds, which means that for 10 seconds it will wait. For 10 seconds it will wait until the server is connected. If it is not connected immediately, okay. So connect disconnect timeout, we are passing 10 seconds here, and then client dot configure MQTT operation timeout. Say though broker is connected, though server is connected, if the device is not publishing data immediately, so we have to wait until the data is published, right? So here there is a timeout called operation timeout. So this operation timeout, it is all based on the data of publish and data of subscribing. This comes into picture while you're publishing data, while you're subscribing data. So here let's have a time delay of 5 seconds. Okay, 5 seconds it will wait. If the publisher is not responded, if the MQTT server is not responding for publishing data, then it will wait for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, it throws an exception, okay, saying that operation timeout. So this is how you need to configure your MQTT client. So the client which is created here. So for you to understand, I'm maintaining spaces, okay. And these 3 lines are all about creating a client object and passing the credentials. And this 4 lines is all about talking about timeouts, talking about the frequency of data transfer, talking about whether it is infinite or finite. And this is the configuration there. After configuration, what should be the logic? Here we have to define a notification function. Say def notification of client comma user data comma message. So here in MQTT of AWS, you have to write message message colon. So here you have to provide indentation, okay, indentation, print received a new message, received a new message, indentation, print. So as I said, all the messages will be in payload, okay. So you need to print message.payload, print from which topic you have received this message, from topic, print what is the topic name there, message.topic. So from which topic you have received this message. Okay, so this 4 lines is all about printing the message received and printing the from which topic we have received the message and all this. This is a notification, this is a callback function. So this function will be called automatically when a subscriber gets a message, right? So when a subscriber gets a message, this function will be called. So here let us configure this. So here let us connect our client with AWS IoT core by calling client.connect. So when you call this function, it will try to connect with AWS IoT core by using above credentials, okay, by using above credentials. Okay, client.connect. It connects with AWS IoT core. So let's have print statement here. Print MQTT client is connected to AWS IoT core. Okay, print AWS IoT core. Print MQTT client is connected to AWS IoT core, which says that yes, this is successful. And let's wait for 2 seconds. So time dot sleep of 2. So let's wait for 2 seconds. And then here subscribe. Okay, we have to subscribe for a topic. So let's subscribe for a topic here. Client dot subscribe. Client dot subscribe of. Let the topic be DHT11/data. Okay, as we are sending the data of DHT11. Okay, with quality of services 1, and the function name to be called is notification. So this function, notification function, will be called automatically when DHT11/data receives a message. So when this DHT11/data receives a message, then automatically notification function will be called. Okay, next. Here comes the logic. We need to start infinite loop. We need to start infinite loop while true colon. We need to start infinite loop. And say, as we are writing program on our laptop, okay, we don't connected, we are not having physical sensor which is connected to a laptop, right? So let's take a sample data, humidity sh, comma, temperature as T equal to some physical data, some random data, say humidity as 35, comma, temperature as 31. Okay, say h comma t equal to 35, 31. So let's prepare a dictionary here, something like payload. Payload equal to, bracket open, let's create a dictionary object. Temperature colon T, temperature colon T. So this dictionary should be passed as a string, okay? So you need to put single quotation also. Single quotation. So when you're enclosing in single quotation, you have to enclose with double quotation, okay? So double quotation here, temperature colon, single quotation should be closed now, plus str, the t value is integer value there, we need to typecast with string, plus comma, and here you have to write humidity colon, I need to close the double quotation there, and double quotation close, single quotation close, plus str of h, plus single quotation close, single quotation close. Okay, so this is how you need to prepare a dictionary in terms of string. It's very simple. It's all about, starting a single quotation and top bracket, and then temperature should be in double quotation, and colon should be outside double quotation, okay, and then single quotation close, plus str of t. In the similar way, you have to write comma humidity. Okay, I'll pass this. I'll paste this in the in the chat. Okay, so that you can have it as a reference. So like this, we need to create a string. So let's check whether it is printing properly or not. Okay, let's check whether it's printing properly or not. Print of payload. So let's check whether it's printing properly or not. Print of payload. And then client dot publish of, we need to publish the data, DHT11/data, comma, payload, and the quality of service is 0, and control list. So let's have a time delay. Time dot sleep of 2. So this is a program. So in this program, we can totally divide this program into 4 steps. Okay. In the first step, we have to import the modules, and then we need to create a client, and then we need to connect with the endpoint, and then you need to configure our certificates, and then we need to configure our MQTT process in terms of timeouts, in terms of frequency and all, and then you need to create a notification function, which is a callback function. So this notification function is all about, whenever subscriber gets a message, so this notification function will be called, and then we need to connect with client. We need to connect with AWS IoT Core, and then after time delay of 2 seconds, we are subscribing for a topic which is DHT11/data. So this is a topic on which we are publishing the data. So this topic's name should be same. Then only your subscriber gets a message, and we are passing notification function name here. So that is a function call which will be invoked automatically when our subscriber gets a message, and we are passing a sample value of 35,31, and payload, we are creating a string, something like payload equal to temperature colon temperature, humidity colon humidity value, and then we are printing payload, and then we are publishing the data, and then time.sleep of 2. So it means that client will be connected, client will be subscribed on this topic, and then we are preparing this data, and then we are publishing the data here. So this is what we are doing here. So I'll copy the entire program into the chat. Okay, you can use this as a reference. I'll send this file in the WhatsApp group too. Okay, just yesterday, because this program is very important program for today's, because it keeps sending the data to AWS IoT Core. So let us execute this program. Okay, Python space demo.py, Python space demo.py. So when you hit enter, so MQTT client is connected to AWS Core, and we can able to see the messages flowing in. Temperature value is 31, humidity value is 35 from the topic DHT11/data. So you can able to see this kind of data which is coming in, which is because we are publishing on the same topic name DHT11/data. So the data it is printing here on the PowerShell, right? It is printing here from where the program is called. So let us see the same data on AWS IoT Core. So let's jump into AWS IoT dashboard. So here on the left side you'll have test. On the left side you'll have test, EST test. You can click on it. Okay, and here when you click on test, you'll have 2 options here. One is subscribe to a topic, second one is publish to a topic. So we need to subscribe on a topic. The topic name should be DHT11/data. Okay, the topic name which is written in the program, DHT11/data, and then you need to click on subscribe to a topic. When you click on subscribe to a topic, you can able to see the data which is coming in. So the same data which is printed on the PowerShell, the same data should be printed on AWS IoT Core. Okay, so now the data is printing here. You can able to see the time also. So the time is May 8th, 2024 too. It means that just now it is just printing the data there. So for every 2 seconds, it is printing the data. You can able to see the time delay also. So 4 to 22 is one sample value which has been printed, and 4 to 24, which is means there is a delay of 2 seconds here. So for every 2 seconds, what it is doing there, it is just uploading the data through MQTT protocol to AWS IoT Core. Okay, but in every field, the temperature and humidity values are constant because we are using a simple raw data, right? So instead of this, if we connect humidity sensor on Raspberry Pi, then dynamic data will comes into place. The humidity value and temperature value will keep changing here and there, right? So based on the temperature of the room, based on the humidity of the room, the sensor values will keep changing there. But here, as we wrote 35,31 as a sample value, so you can able to see on AWS Core, which is constant always. 35,31 is constant always. So any doubts so far? The only problem is this program. Okay, because for everything there should be a program, right? Have you understood this program? In this program, we have passed our certificates, and we have configured our MQTT process in terms of timeouts and frequencies. And then we wrote a function called notification to receive the message when our subscriber gets a message. And then we have connected with AWS IoT Core by calling client.connect. And then we have subscribed for a topic called DHT11/data. And then we have created a string called payload, and then we have published the data. Okay, if it is first time, it will be a bit complicated, but when you practice this logic for 2-3 times, then it will be good enough so that it will be handy for you also. Now the data is printing on AWS IoT Core. That is what I've shown you here. It is printing the data continuously. So it is printing the data continuously. For every 2 seconds, it keeps printing the data. So the data is being collected. Any doubts so far? Now we need to analyze this data. And we need to send a notification. We need to analyze this data. We need to send a notification. So to send a notification on AWS, there is one more service. So I'm just stopping the program, okay? I'll run it whenever it is required. I'm just stopping the program. Control C. Control C is to stop the program. Now we need to analyze the data. So we need to analyze what is this temperature value, how much is this humidity value and all. Before that, we need to understand how to send a notification. To send a notification on Amazon, there is one more service. In Amazon, there is one more service called SNS. So let's go to that SNS service, okay? You can click on services. Yeah, you can search for SNS service, okay? SNS is a simple notification service which is available through MQTT protocol. So that is why I have introduced MQTT protocol from class 4, because MQTT protocol, everywhere there will be MQTT protocol only. Okay, here also SNS is implemented on MQTT protocol. AWS IoT Core is also implemented on MQTT protocol. Okay, so you need to click on this simple notification service. So simple notification service is available on AWS to send notification to the user in terms of MQTT protocol, and also here text messaging is also there. So AWS will be sending a notification through SMS. And here, what we have to do is we have to subscribe our mobile number here. Okay, to send an SMS, you need a mobile number, right? To send SMS, you need a mobile number. So we need to subscribe. We need to create a topic first. So let us create a topic. So on Amazon SNS, okay, there will be on the left side, you'll have the dashboard menu bar. So there you can click on topics. You have to create a topic, okay? So let's create a topic. Let it be, say, IoT FDP, okay? IoT FDP. The topic name which I given here is IoT FDP. Display name, okay, let it be IoT FDP, okay? IoT FDP. Okay, let's click on create topic. So now topic is created. A topic called IoT FDP is created. To this topic, whenever a message is subscribed, so whenever you send a message to IoT FTP topic on this topic, then immediately it will send all the messages to all the subscribers here. As of now, subscriptions are 0. So we need to add our mobile number as a subscriber. Let us create a subscriber. Let us create a subscription here. So let's click on create subscription. Now first what we did, we have created a topic, and then now we are subscribing for this topic, okay? We need to click on create subscription. When you click on create subscription, it is asking to select the protocol. So select SMS, okay? select SMS, and it is asking the mobile number. I'll write my second mobile number 70, or I'll write the primary number also 78930 789301565. Say this is the mobile number you want to add along with country ID, right? So let's add +91 +91 789301565. Say endpoint is a mobile number, so that is what we did here. Protocol, we have selected SMS because we wanted to send a message to the user. Okay, let's click on create subscription. So here subscription is added. You can able to see the subscriptions here. Where is this? SMS IoT FDP. Okay, so on this topic there is an endpoint where you can able to see my endpoint as a mobile number. Now what is the topic name? IoT FDP is a topic name. IoT FDP is a topic name, and on this topic we have added one subscription. So here the subscription is the mobile number. So when you click on create subscription, you need to select the protocol as SMS, and then you need to add your mobile number here, and then you need to click on create subscription. When you click on create subscription, that subscription will be subscribed for a topic name which has been selected here. So as we have selected IoT FDP, and you can able to see my subscription which is added as an endpoint and a subscriber for this topic. Okay, IoT FDP. So this is what you have to do. It's very simple. You need to open SNS service, okay, on Amazon Web Services, and then you have to click on topics. You have to create a topic. When a topic is created, you need to click on the topic name. Then subscriptions by default will be 0. We need to click on create subscription button here. So when you click on create subscription button, the mobile, you need to give your mobile number, and you need to select protocol as SMS, and then you need to click on create subscription. Then you can able to see the mobile number as an endpoint. So after this, to this endpoint, we need to send SMS when, say, temperature crosses 50. Now the temperature is 31, right? When a temperature is 31, no need to send SMS. But when temperature crosses 50, okay, when temperature crosses 50, we need to send SMS. So that SMS is added here. The protocol is SMS, which is added to this mobile number. Okay, now we need to send SMS to this mobile number when the temperature crosses 50. Here the temperature here it is showing 31. When temperature crosses 50, we need to send a notification through SNS. Okay, so we have created SNS here. We have created SNS topic and subscription, everything here in SNS service. So let's jump into Act. So Act is nothing but a page where it is where you can create a rule. Okay, so we have to create some rules here. We have to create some rule. What is the rule? When temperature crosses 50, okay, then we have to send notification. That is a rule. Okay, we have to create a rule here. So to create a rule, you need to click on Act on the AWS IoT dashboard. You need to click on Act. When you click on Act, you can able to see the rules which are existed. So as of now, you can able to see demo rule which is already there. Now we need to click on create to create a rule. Okay, you have to click on create. So it is asking to give name. So let us write temperature alert for you to understand. Temperature alert. Description, write demo, whatever. Okay, and what is a query? This query is important. Okay, select star from topic. What is the topic that we are receiving data? The topic is DHT11/data. So we are receiving data on this topic name where temperature. So in this topic we are receiving a message of humidity and temperature, right? When temperature is greater than 50. So this is a query. This is a query which we have to do. You can able to see here. Select something like there is a sample query here. But here we are receiving data from DHT11/data. We are receiving data from DHT11/data. So in this data we are receiving temperature value and also humidity value. So I'm writing a query in such a way that when temperature value, where temperature value is greater than 50, so it means that every feed will be will be fed to this query. When temperature is greater than 50, then we need to select an action, right? So we need to select an event. So let's click on add action. So this is an input statement, right? When temperature greater than 50, we need to send a notification. So you need to click on add action. You need to click on add action. So when you click on add action here, you can insert a message into DynamoDB, or you can send a message to Lambda function, or you can have SNS push notification. Okay. So as of now, it is SNS push notification. So we have to select SNS push notification, and we have to click on configure action. Okay. There will be multiple events here. Okay. But as of now, we wanted to send a message to in terms of SNS notification. We need to configure our action. So here it is asking SNS target on which topic you want to send notification. So just before this step, we have created a topic called IoT FDP, right? So we need to select IoT FDP. When you select IoT FDP, okay, when you select IoT FDP, then we have a subscriber on this topic, right? I have added a subscriber on this topic IoT FDP. So that is why I have to select this topic on SNS as SNS target. And then message format is raw, which means that raw message will be transferred. Okay, and then we have to create a role. So let's create a role. So let's it be say temp SNS. Okay, something like that. Okay, policy attached. So let's click on add action. So we need to create a role. So we have created role like temp SNS, and SNS target is IoT FTP. So let's click on add action. So when you click on add action here, you can able to see this is the input where select start from DHT11/data where temperature is greater than 50. So this is the input statement, and the output is like send a message to this topic name. Okay, IoT FTP is SNS topic which is created in SNS service, and there is a subscriber also which is subscribed on this topic name. So when you click on save, okay, when you click on this create rule, when you click on create rule, immediately this rule will be activated. Okay, this rule is activated here. Okay, this role is activated. So the role which is created here, let me delete this role. Okay, so let me delete this role. Okay, so there is a role like temperature alert. This is activated. So whenever the temperature value is greater than 50, I will get an SMS. Okay, so let me change the value of temperature. Okay, as we are giving temperature value manually, so let's write 50 in terms of 31, 52. Okay, because we wrote 50 as a threshold value there in AWS IoT. If you keep 52, say Control S, 52. So let's run this program. Then immediately I should get a notification on my mobile. Okay, I'll share it on the WhatsApp. Okay, if I get a notification, you can also check on your. So I'm running the program. Temperature is 52. Yes, I got SMS. If it is running continuously, I'll get multiple times. Okay, I'll post in the group. Okay, what SMS I'm receiving here. So the temperature value is 52, right? So I got SMS immediately. I got 3-4 SMS on the same because the program is executed 1 2 3 4 5 6 times. So I'll get 6 SMSs because every time the value of temperature is greater than 50, right? So yes, I'm getting SMSs. Okay, let me take a screenshot. I'll send in the WhatsApp group. Okay, send. Like this you have to get, like this you have to get notification. Okay, so I have posted in the WhatsApp group also. Okay, like that should get a notification on your mobile number. So the use case is done. Use case is solved, I guess, because we need to set, our target is to send a notification to the user when a rule is met. So we have created a rule and we have uploaded the data. When a rule is met, then immediately it sends a notification through SMS. So that is done. Any doubts so far? You can ask me now. AWS IoT is not so simple. Okay, you have to practice 2-3 times, and only you'll be understanding what is what, where is what, and all. So that's the end of the class. Please practice all this stuff. We'll post all the videos. Okay. I'll send this program in the WhatsApp group also. Anyways, we'll share it through Google Drive, but I'll send through WhatsApp also. Please practice all this stuff. If you keep practicing, then only you'll be understanding what is what and where is what and all. Okay. So if you're stuck here and there, you can put the WhatsApp message on my number. My number is there in the WhatsApp group. You can share your errors and all. We'll try to debug it. Okay. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you.